What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got some major injury news on a key defensive player on Michigan's secondary, plus also the latest on Rod Moore and Mason Graham. We're also going to be talking about what Jim Harbaugh and some Michigan players said to the media as they prepare for the game against Minnesota, and we're also going to be talking about some huge performances by some of Michigan's 2024 commits. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so I first want to start by talking about some injury news for Michigan, as first off, Jim Harbaugh confirmed on Monday that Mike Sainristil is working through an injury right now, as against Rutgers. Mike Sainristil did briefly go into the medical tent. Mike Sainristil, when asked about that, he said, "I'm fine, I landed on my knee, but I feel good. Doctor said I'll be good, not worried about it." However, he was limited in snaps against Nebraska, as he started but played just 16 snaps against Nebraska. Harbaugh on the Inside Michigan Football radio show explained that Josh Wallace actually earned a game ball for filling in for Mike Sainristil's nickel position. He said Josh Wallace was a great contributor. Another guy who got a game ball this week, he said Josh Wallace stepped in at nickel. Mike had to limit some of his reps, and he said he's been a heck of an addition. Every one of the transfers has been a real great addition to the team. And Harbaugh explained earlier on Monday that Sainristil was playing through pain against Nebraska. He said there's so many times that we get guys that are working through something. That's football. It's rare. It's lucky when you come out of a game as healthy as we did coming out of this game, but you can rest assured there's multiple guys that are working through something. And he said Mike Sainristil right now as an example. And Rod Moore also got limited snaps against Nebraska. He's still working through his injury, so Michigan's still a little banged up in the secondary. It obviously is huge that they are, playing, but obviously Michigan doesn't want to push them. They want to make sure that they get fully healthy. Now, Harbaugh, speaking about Rod Moore, he said that he's progressing really well, but right now, Rod Moore, he's just not where he needs to be. So hopefully soon he can get back to 100%. So Mike Sainristil, Rod Moore, still working through an injury right now, as they're both limited in snaps against Nebraska. And then also Mason Graham has been out the last 2 weeks. However, Harbaugh did say that he should be back in a week or two, as he missed Rutgers and Nebraska. So Harbaugh, he said that when we found out about Mason Graham's injury, which he injured his hand against Bowling Green, so I would expect Mason Graham to potentially start against Minnesota, but we still do have to wait and see what news comes out on that. As I don't think Michigan will need him against Minnesota, and maybe they'll just limit him in snaps like they did with Mike Sainristil and Rod Moore against Nebraska. But that's the latest on the injury updates and news for Michigan. But I also did want to talk about what else Jim Harbaugh said to the media, as he talked about the game against Nebraska and also looking ahead to Minnesota. And first off, he talked about Roman Wilson's touchdown catch, the first one where he caught it over the Nebraska defender. Harbaugh said that was incredible. He said if somebody makes a great play or a player of the game kind of thing, we do a picture of him in our team room. Now we're going to do a 3-in-1 collage, because that play needs 3 different pictures to really show how good it was. He also talked about if Michigan plans on sticking with Darius Henderson at left tackle, and he said, well, Miles is working through something, and he's shown to be a great player, team player, unselfish guy. And he said there's just so many good guys in there. He said he just wants to see all of them out there. He did say that Henderson and Keegan probably played the best out of any of our offensive linemen in a group that was really good in this game. He also talked about the Nebraska win as a critical result. He said each game now, it's critical. It's as critical as it gets, as clearly as I could say it. And Michigan, they go on the road again at night against Minnesota. And Jim Harbaugh, speaking about Minnesota, he said another really good defense, really stout. He said they have a tremendous ability to run the ball, physical team and I love how they play. He said it'll be a football fight like it is every Saturday, and we gotta play good. Now, another thing that both Michigan players and Jim Harbaugh talked about is the teach the game sessions that they have. Harbaugh said that we've been doing it a long time, and he said that part of our TTG, which stands for teach the game, was to learn the entire history of the little brown jug, stressing the importance of keeping that rivalry trophy and not giving it back to Minnesota. Now, Zach Zinter also said that throughout fall camp, we're going through every situation imaginable, and then on Fridays or on Mondays, we'll come in, we'll have a TTG, and he said we'll watch situations from the week before, whether it's a 2-minute drive from another team or clock. And he said we saw Mahomes get down last night and not score a touchdown at the end to just end the game and not let them have a chance at all. And he said stuff like that where he could have scored a touchdown, boost his stats or whatnot, but he went down and they took a knee and they won the game for the team. And he said the TTG teaches you so much more about football. Zach Zinter also talked about Michigan's playbook. He said we haven't really opened up the playbook too much these first few games, which I think is part of it. He said that a combination of scheme and chemistry helped the run game improve. And talking about running back Kalel Mullings, he said I think we're going to start seeing more and more and more of him. He's a big back, he runs hard, and it's hard to bring him down. Kalel Mullings had a fantastic game against Nebraska. And then Braden McGregor also talked about how Michigan watches Ohio State film all year. He said you always got an eye on Ohio and all that, so being able to focus on who we played this week and then watching a little bit of film every week on them, as well as other teams like Penn State, Maryland, all those guys, and being able to just focus. And he said, so I think just focusing on who we play and stacking the days, and when we get there, we'll be ready. So pretty cool there. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is talking about how some Michigan commits in the 2024 class are performing. And first off, we'll talk about our future quarterback out of Jaden Davis. The 4-star should be rated as a 5-star. Over the weekend, he completed 13 of 14 passes for 189 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 62-10 win. On the season, he is 98 of 125 with 1,674 yards, 21 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He has been phenomenal this season. And the 4-star running back Jordan Marshall, he broke the all-time career rushing record at his high school of 4,098 yards, which was previously held for 22 years. And his team got the win 38-7. And on the season, he has 138 carries for 889 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 15 receptions for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just insane numbers from both Jaden Davis and Jordan Marshall. And the 4-star wide receiver Amarion Stewart, his team won 40-21 over the weekend. The stats from the game weren't available. However, the season stats that are available, he has 17 catches for 296 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first 5 games. And the 3-star wide receiver Channing Goodwin, who was Jaden Davis's teammate, he caught 4 passes for 55 yards in the win. And for his season, he has 24 catches, 503 yards, and 5 touchdowns. The 4-star edge Devin Baxter, his team won 47-8 over the weekend, and on the season he has 19 total tackles with 3 sacks and 1 fumble recovery in just 4 games. And the 3-star defensive lineman Ted Hammond, on the season he has 19 total tackles, 2 tackle for losses, and a half a sack. And the linebacker Cole Sullivan has been outstanding. He has 49 total tackles, 4 tackle for losses, 1 sack, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery on the season. Same thing with the linebacker Jaden Smith, the 4-star. On the season, he has 30 total tackles, 4.5 tackle for losses, 1 sack, 1 blocked field goal, 1 blocked punt. And also the last guy I'll talk about is the 4-star defensive back Jacob Oden, as on the season he has 28 total tackles, 4 tackle for losses, 5 pass breakups, and 1 interception in 5 games. So Michigan commits having some big time performances this season. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.